Hey, it's Guido coming at you with another Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I have for you now a replay analysis. This is for Thylacoleo. He's in his JPZ E100 Tier 10 German TD. It's as if Franz Ferdinand had a fever dream and decided that his elephant was just too tiny and he would make it gigantic. Anywho, it's a great tank because it's unique. Now, before we get into what a great tank it is, I'll just debrief this little drive through the puddle here. And you know, Thigh, this is a small thing, but everything you do cascades into the next thing. It's like a snowball going downhill. So especially with a slow tank like this, if you do something that slows you down getting to a position, that's probably the wrong thing to do. In addition, because of the wonky physics and the map design, sometimes you get stuck on crap like that. So I would just advise, you know, again, not a huge thing. It's not like the game's lost because you drove through a daggum puddle. But it's all the little things that add together, and you may have just got somewhere fast enough to hit somebody if you hadn't driven through that. But sometimes you want to jump in puddles, right? Alright, so we're going to head into the middle of the town, and this is not a bad positioning decision for the JPZ. You can see one of their scouts is has squirted right through here. We use a different word. And he's molesting your arty back there. Not a lot you can do there with the TD. That's what these guys were supposed to do, is stop him from doing that. But we've got the JPZ with Thigh heading on into the city, and most of their strength has gone to the city, although there is an IS-4 here, very light on the north with a low camping in the back. And unknown what the RU is doing. He must be going back to get the scout. But right off the bat, you lose 3 tanks, and that is not good. So it looks like you're trying to use this as a little bit of armor and camo right there. And so what we have now is there's a M46 Patton in the south of the town, and you've got quite a few tanks on him, so you could have gone over there to him. I wouldn't do that, and I don't think you decide to, because you could get shot down this road that is right to your left. The other option is to shift over to the right where the 100.01 is. And you can see with Thigh kind of moving around trying to decide what to do. And this is one of the problems with a casemate TD, especially when you're top tier like this and you've got to contribute to the battle. Getting your gun into the game with a TD in a city like this is not easy, especially a big slow one. But this is not a bad choice. So it looks like we're going to do a little peek-a-boom down this road, which is pretty standard. Here's that guy. We're going to aim in on him, try to get a little good aim, and we end up bouncing. Looks like the 100.1 maybe got in your way and you shifted your aim just at the last moment. And this is, again, one of the big problems with the JPZ. I think Thigh actually posted something on the forums and mentioned it. Other people have obviously mentioned it. It's not a new thing, but when you shoot and either miss or bounce with this thing, it's painful because the reload is very long. Now your team's making a little bit of a comeback. You can see that now they have pushed through to the south. So this is kind of a decision point. Here's a major decision point. They're through over here. There's a T-30 here. There's some pretty big kids here, but you've got your big kids down here coming up on their flank. What do you do here? Well, you've got some trouble here. You have 2 choices, I think. Push through and try to help leverage the fact that they've got through and will have shots down here or can move through these alleyways. Or shift out of here and say, you know what, I'm going to go up here and see what I can do to work on this, what looks like to be a developing breakthrough up to my north. Now there is an IS-4 and a T-30 still there, but we're just going to kind of sit here. So what would I do? I probably would have started pushing in a bit and maybe move towards that bridge. Now that exposes the lower hull of your JPZ. Unfortunately, there's another bounce right there, and I'll talk about just that part in just a minute. Unfortunately, going across the bridge exposes your lower hull, but what it also does is forces them to expose themselves and potentially gives the 103, the 40T, the Taurus, and the E100 an opportunity to get in on their side. Once they start shooting at you, paying attention to you, then they can then leverage that and start cleaning these guys up. You should be, by all accounts, rolling these guys up with this force right here, even with that T-30 in the back. Now, you don't know where the Sturv is. I believe he's also camping in the back. I said I would mention the E100. You just rushed that shot a little bit. He'd been sitting there for quite a long time. And unlucky, sometimes RNG just doesn't do it. Now, I noticed that you're looking at the T30, and it looks like maybe you're trying to get a shot on him, and that's probably not a bad idea, but you get a little bit, you don't go quite far enough, and then now you're trying to back up and do it. And, oh, goodness gracious, thank you, E100. Good job, you saw that shot. Now, as soon as I took that shot, and I noticed that T30 was sort of enamored or interested in me, I'd have gone forward and left, so that I could start advancing and cover myself from that T30 and get a little bit closer to my work. Unfortunately, that north part where you were overmatched, your team was overmatched, is losing. And you're taking way too long to take these guys out. Not you personally, but your team. And, well, unfortunately, that did not quite kill him. Good hit. And that's kind of the move I would have done earlier. I think you're thinking it there, going to cover yourself up. Watch the Patton in the 4502. There are some holes over to the right on their side, but it looks like they're pretty busy. And now you're going to end up backing up. Now this is kind of an interesting thing that happens right here. That guy's running off. And if you'll notice, and probably people at home have as well, there is a scorpion behind you who actually lit you and saw you. So now you are reacting as I believe you should do at this point. Now, had you taken my advice, you'd have been probably much further up in here and working on these guys, but I think you probably would have wrecked these tanks a little bit faster. There's the scorpion he just lit you as he was kind of trolling around behind you, and now you're going to go ahead and move in. This is something you've been doing all game as well, is driving in sniper mode. I would zoom out. There you go, more like that. You end up taking a hit from the Patton to your side. And that's one of the reasons why. If you're zoomed out and sort of looking around while you drive, you may have noted that the Patton was over there, and you might not have driven straight across that opening and let him pop you. You're going to have a hard time with this tank sniping the turret of these guys that are kind of hull down up there. It's not going to be very easy. And they're not really a danger sitting right there. I mean, you're kind of jousting with them here, and they're just sort of back and forth. You have a hard time hitting them. They can't really pin you. I mean, it's okay, you're keeping them busy, but you're not really getting your gun in the game as far as finding something you can do effectively. Now look at, they are well down on tanks, but you'll see that they actually fight this pretty good. The poor Bat Chat makes a huge mistake right there. He regrets that instantly. He's got a full clip. Nice job. Do a little angle. Yep, I would go downhill right there as well if you can shove your front prey. Oh, he tracked you, but your friend helped. I thought that was pretty good decision making in the heat of battle. Oh, that's a bummer. Here comes a bulldog waiting for your tracks to repair. Now I'll tell you what, I would have burned a repair kit right there. I saw that bulldog coming and I was tracked. I'd have burned it and started pointing right at him. Could have influenced him to not even come around the corner. You might even been pointing at him if he didn't notice you were pointing, and you might have got a shot off right there. I'd have definitely burned it though. The Artie actually has a shot on you right there. Fortunately, it only puts a little bit of damage. Now this is kind of funny. I see you zoom in and you've actually got your Pipper right at the corner of the building, and I'm thinking, well, if that bulldog comes quickly from right to left at speed, you're going to have a hard time reacting. So I probably would have shifted the Pipper to the left, maybe closer to the dead scorpion right there, so that I had some time to react. And I might have even zoomed out a little bit so that I had a bigger aperture so I could actually see the bulldog as he was still lit back behind those buildings there. But now that I've said that, and as I thought that while I was watching it, this is pretty funny because you're kind of pointing right here. Oh my gosh, really? I don't know why that guy backed out. I thought maybe somebody was pressuring him, but I don't know. That was strange. It doesn't look like any of your tanks had seen him, so whether he got lit by you and then got confused, I don't know. That was odd. But hey, you got him. Good on you. And now we're moving on to town, and this is basically cleanup mode. You do some comm. I thought that was really nice. For people watching this, you can see where he says, wait there, don't go without me. So sometimes you can get a little bit of pub coordination in a pub game. At least the E100 said affirmative, so he seems to understand what's going to go on there, but he is still kind of moving towards him. And I'll tell you that RU-251 is doing some yeoman's work there. Takes out the 140, which was huge, because now you're just dealing with an Artie and 3 TDs. So this is probably about as best a route as could be expected to get towards them. Got the RU kind of cornering the Scorpion, or at least keeping him honest up there. There he is. He's actually moved around. Somehow he got behind everyone. He must have gone down through the bottom. And now the RU kills the T-30 of all things. So yeah, he did some great work in game. And we'll trundle. Oh, look at there. There's the 212. Now this is actually a time, what's interesting is this is actually a time that I might be driving in sniper mode, because what I want to know is, when is my gun on this guy? There you go. Blap, and he's done. Very good. Yeah, zoom out, and again, zoom out, look around, open the aperture, see what's going on. This Scorpion has no idea you're there. He is so intent on the E100, he doesn't even see you. Or he just figures there's nothing he can do. Seems like he would be trying to get around your side if he actually knew you were there. I think he's just trying to shoot the E100. He dies, Sturv kills the E100, and now it's just the three of you. And I thought, man, this is going to be a good opportunity for a dive bomb. The JPZ dive bomb. This would be awesome. Get a... Here we go, and... Nope, not... Oh, he and he got a shot on you. And you end up killing him. So, hey, man, not a bad game. 3,920 damage. All I would say, I think, really, the biggest thing for me on this would be maybe a little bit of indecision early and slightly less aggressive than I potentially would have been. That being said, had you got caught out on that bridge, maybe an arty shot into you could have been an issue. And by being careful, you did preserve hit points and were able to kind of clean up the enemy team as they got around you in there. But I think that big decision point of whether to go north and help or to push across the bridge was really the thing that was probably the biggest takeaway for you on this game. And then the driving in sniper mode was not that great. The problem with that is it just lowers your general SA. So if you're not actively shooting somebody, or you don't have a reason to be in sniper mode, zoom out while you're driving, look around, find out where the enemy is, and you may actually see something such as not being hit by the Patton in the side that would help you out. So I hope that helped, man. For everybody else, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. If you would like me to do any replay analysis for you, send it to me. Send the link via a private message in game, and I'll take a look at it, do a video for you as well. Otherwise, I appreciate your support, and we will see you.